Hey y'all, Luke from Truce Designs here. Just wanted to give you a tour of the tiny house here that my wife and I have been living in for about a year and a half now. The story is we'd been dating for about 6 months and we were both pretty like-minded in how we wanted to live, and tiny house sounded really good, so I started looking on Craigslist, and my shop was in St. John's at the time, and I found someone who was trying to sell a partially built one just down the way. So just walked over and checked it out, and this was a big cabinetry making operation that had been hired to make some architecture firm designed this shape, and they were going to have this company make a bunch of them for the VA. But it didn't end up working out, and I think partially because there's some angles on here that make this a not very repeatable tiny house, so just kind of hard to mass manufacture. We got the tiny house, it was framed, Tyvek'd, and the trailer and the composting toilet all for 20 grand. So pretty good deal for a starting base. And since then I've done the cedar on these sides, the metal on the long sides after trying with pine and not really painting pine and not really liking that, so we switched to metal. And we added a couple of skylights that are actually roof windows that open up all the way, and we had them cut out one extra window frame for the shower. So yeah, we picked it up, we brought it back here. Like every successful 30-something-year-old, live on my parents' property. So this is just up on the corner of their house. Or on the corner of their property rather. They've been really nice and helpful in having us here and taking over what used to be the hay barn over here and turning that into a wood shop and sound studio and workout space, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But yeah, so we got the tiny house that was partially made. We did all the siding, the roofing, and the floor, the cabinets on the inside. So it's 242 square feet, including the lofts. There's 2 lofts. One that we use for storage that I haven't really completed yet. It's not really finished. And the other loft is our sleeping loft. So we get a queen size bed up there and some room around the edges, which really helps to make a bed, because with low ceilings on a loft, it's not the easiest job to make the bed. All right, so I think that's most of the story about how it got here and what it looks like on the outside. So let's take you guys inside. All right, here we are inside. I got cork floors that we put down here with some insulation down below it. All the woodworking that you see in here is pretty terrible because basically COVID hit and we had to get in here as quickly as possible, so I tried to do most of this stuff in 2 weeks cabinetry wise. So this countertop is pre-made by Gobi Walnut. They're awesome. Also got all the walnut in here is from Gobi. I got this as a kit from Rockler, so it came with dimensions and all the hardware to make this rolling library ladder, which we use to get up into the sleeping loft, and we can also just lift it off the rail here and put it on the rail to get up in the storage loft. So as you can see here, we've got 2 pantry drawers below the fridge. We've got these nice soft close bloom hinges on these main big 3 drawers here that are kind of like pantry and kitchen stuff. More pantry space down below and under the sink, cleaning supplies, garbage, recycling, compost. Over here is our little Breville oven that we use. It's got like air frying, and it's got your bagel function, toast, all that kind of stuff. So we use that as our oven, and it works really well. We can do cakes and brownies and stuff in there. We've got the induction top over here. It's a Bosch induction top above the washer dryer. And we meant to do a backsplash in the same tile as we have in the bathroom, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So we'll do that eventually. A fan hood with a light over the induction top. and a kettle to make tea. Got a Vitamix over here, and this drying rack that I made out of walnut is above the sink so stuff can drip dry above it. Yeah, and some dry storage up above with the Berkey water filter. Fridge. That's pretty much it for the kitchen section. If we come over here, this is kind of our dining area. There's some storage for files and stuff in the bottom drawer, but this one pulls out to a table. It's got 2 leaves in here, so kind of takes some doing, but we really only ever use it halfway out, but it does come all the way out like this, and then you can just close it back up. So that's a cool specialized piece of sliding cabinet hardware on that. Behind here we've got our vacuum cleaner and stuff in this cabinet. Kind of laundry kind of things over here. And here we've got our closet with all of the stuff we wear every day. Shirts, socks, underwear, all that kind of stuff in these different bins. And behind these bins I can pull out this kind of plus sign shaped couple of pieces of plywood, and the electrical panel is behind there. When we get to the bathroom, we have a piece of radiant floor heating on the floor here from Warmly Yours. It's an awesome company, and if I could do this all over again, there's a few things I would do differently, but mainly is I would have a strip of this tile with radiant floor heating all the way under, just kind of as like a main walkway in here. That would be really cool. We've got this pocket door with our mirror on it. And in the bathroom, we've got our sink, obviously. This shower here that I tongue and grooved some more cedar, and then I glued the panels together, and then I covered all 6 sides of each panel in epoxy and assembled them in the shower. And like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of weird angles in this design of this tiny house that we kind of just had to roll with, and that definitely applies to the shower as well. There's like 3-degree angles that kind of make things a little confusing. And over here we've got our Nature's Head composting toilet, which we like. Yeah, it's a good composting toilet. Oh, and I forgot to mention our one gas using device. There's a propane tankless water heater from Rinnai, and yeah, it does a great job. And we have a water softening system set up beforehand so that it doesn't get the hard water that we have out here. Up there is our sleeping loft. So we've got a fan and air purifier up there, and the skylight that opens up. And I could do a whole episode about the skylights, honestly. It's a thing. Up here we've got our mini split for heating and cooling. Super efficient, obviously. In such a small space, we barely have to have it on, and it really works well. And up in the storage loft, obviously mostly storage, and we also have an energy recovery ventilator up there, which really helps with humidity in the wintertime because it's pretty tight and we have all the windows closed. When it's cold out, yeah, it gets pretty stale in here, so the energy recovery ventilator does a really good job of bringing in fresh air, mixing it, warming it up a little bit, and then sucking out stale air. And we also use a dehumidifier for the winter months, and that really helps to keep it from getting really humid in here when we're cooking, showering, that kind of stuff. Even though we have a window in the shower, it's still in such a small space. If you're cooking and boiling water or whatever, it gets pretty humid really quickly. So dehumidifier and the energy recovery ventilator together perform really well. And then over here in this corner, going closer to the door again, we've got the couch, got some book storage up top, and of course we've got Hank's wolf den down below where he sleeps, and there's a little space for me to put my bag in there at the end of the day. And then we've got 2 drawers for mostly electronic kind of stuff, cables, batteries, headlamps, that sort of thing. And then a coat closet where we put some of our bigger stuff that won't fit in our closet, and winter coats, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the inside of the tiny house, and obviously there's a lot of stuff that could use some finishing touches still, but we've been living in it for about 1.5 years and have really enjoyed the tiny house lifestyle. All right, and here's the wood shop. It's come a long way. Done some barter, done some Craigslist to get old heavy machines, and I've replaced the cutter heads on this planer and this joiner with helical carbide cutter heads. They're amazing. It's a little bit of work to take it apart long enough or far enough to put in the new cutter head, but it's so much better. It cuts a lot cleaner, and it's surprisingly quieter too. And if you ever hit a nail or a staple or anything like that, you haven't chipped one of your 3 blades, you've got a bunch of them in there and you can just unscrew it a little bit, turn it, or replace just one of the cutter heads. So those things are awesome. So I've got an old DeWalt Unisaw table saw here, a Grizzly bandsaw, a DeWalt planer, a Jet dust extractor, got a DeWalt sliding compound miter saw, a Craftsman lathe here, this Delta joiner, which has the cutter head upgrade as well, and this old school Dayton drill press over here in the corner. I have a track saw too. That thing comes in super handy. But for the most part, my hand tools are from DeWalt. I just had a really good experience from their customer service team, so I'm a fan. Obviously some surfboards on the wall in here. Got my powder board and my split board up above the lathe. And I've been trying to get this stock of hardwood that I have here more organized than it used to be, and I made a lot of progress recently, so this is good comparatively. I'm sure for some of you this is still a nightmare, but for me this is better than it was before. And I've got a lumber rack with some of the nicest, biggest pieces. I got some walnut and some teak over there. And also a woodpecker's router table, which is super nice. And I've got a couple bikes hanging from the ceiling. I just need to get one more bike lift to put mine up there. And yeah, I'll be looking pretty in here. And through here is the sound studio space. So got a little slide guitar, got a Guild Electric. This is the guitar I've had for the longest. It's a Guild Acoustic. Love that guitar. Got a little Marshall amp, a couple of Earthworks microphones, some pedals, Rupert Neve DI, well, patch bay, a Shelford channel, which is absolutely incredible. Got a Mag Airband EQ 2-channel. Got a Universal Audio 610, and here's my interface. It's the Apollo X6 Thunderbolt 3. In the 500 series rack, I've got 2 Moog Pre's and 2 delays on the right and 2 filters from Moog. All 4 of those are from Moog. And then at the top here, got the Rupert Neve Master Bus, which, you know, I could very well argue is way overkill for this little studio. Over here, got the Focusrite, or no, I'm sorry, the PreSonus 16 fader port next to the Ableton Live guy over here. And what I like about the PreSonus is that it works with Pro Tools and with Ableton Live. So both of these can be working together during Ableton sessions. Got some Genelec 8030s with a subwoofer underneath. Keyboard and mouse on that tray there. Just a little flute and a little Bluetooth 25 keyboard there. Got the Moog Sub 37 and the Complete Control 49. And back over here in storage, I got a Breedlove ukulele, which is super nice, sounds great. And a ukulele from Cordoba. And then in this is just a bunch of production gear storage, microphones, a standard, not a stand-up, just a regular electric bass here, and the cases for stuff that's not in use. So yeah, that's kind of a quick look at the Cascadian Sound audio studio. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this in particular, because it's kind of a audio nerd sphere for sure.
Hi, my name is Megan and this is my yoga space. I have mats over here, I have blocks, I have MFR balls, dumbbells, straps, kettlebells, plenty of straps, and blankets, all my props. I also have my desk where I do a lot of studying. I started yoga teacher training in the middle of the pandemic, and of course it got moved to virtual, so I was able to come out here and do my studying and do my practice. And I come out here every morning and do my practice, and most of the times in the evening as well. It's nice to have extra book storage and more just yoga study stuff above my desk. And I'm really thankful for this space.
All right, well what? All right, well that's, I'm doing another take. All right, well that's the tiny house tour, woodshop, sound studio, and the workout space. I know we're kind of cheating on the tiny house life by having this space next door. We can kind of spread out and do more activities, but we really love that whole vibe of having a small living space and a bigger play space if possible. So it makes sense to us as a, being as sustainable as we can, composting toilet, and trying to use as few resources as possible while still living enjoyably. So thanks for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions or if you want to see any more videos about anything else. Oh, it looks like we're gonna get a terrier visit. Come here, terriers. Come here, terriers. Come here, terriers. This is Gus, and that's Pippin. They're both little turds, but they're very, very cute. All right, thanks for watching. And yeah, thanks again.